5, 4, 3. You've gone through another isolated and repetitive day. Suddenly, improvisation occurs. Don't worry about the color settings on your laptop. You're at the blinking cursor of the Nightlight Zone.
Nightlight Zone.
Good night.
Oh, yeah. You know, some things just don't get old. And one of them is the delight that we take in childish and simple things. That we, being, of course, myself, Michael Burns, Jen Lavenhar, and Walt Baticki, we call ourselves in these days the signpost up ahead. Where are the other two, one might wonder? Well, I've secreted them in my basement. No, there they are. Hello, Jen.
Sorry, I spoiled your creepy lie.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's theater. It's all theater. And Walt Baticki wants a special entry.
Here we go.
He actually is.
Having a day.
Well, my for some reason my mouse pointer keeps jumping back to the middle of the damn screen, and I can't turn my camera back on.
Is that what they're calling it nowadays?
Yes. Mouse pointer.
Ooh.
Interesting episode.
Ooh. My mouse pointer.
My pearls.
Okay, so seriously, Walt, we don't mean to make light of your technical issues.
Yeah, okay.
Do you need to reboot? We'll forgive you if you do.
I'm going to try to.
Going to unplug and replug and.
Aha! No, that's it.
Jettison.
I don't believe this. This is.
It's okay, man. Breathe. We're breathing. We're breathing. Meanwhile, Jennifer and I, Walt, while you curse and wrestle with cables over there in the corner where you're sitting next to the large dodo bird sculpture, Jen and I are going to look at these wonderful title suggestions and see what we can come up with. So, What's in the Pocket, Stranger on the 13th Floor, Gucci versus Prada, Going, Gone, Have a Beer on Me, Wanted, The Big Game, Bean Boy Blues, One for the Road, and Strange Seasonings.
It's hard to choose.
You know, we did a bean thing just like the last time we did?
Yeah, there were beans involved. Yeah.
They were very central. Beans were central. Hello, Walter.
Some major technical issues.
The lovely and talented Walt Baticki is in the house.
I'm using a computer with a touch screen, which has been working perfectly fine, but now it's insisting that something is touching part of the screen over and over when there's nothing there.
That's because it's the Nightlight Zone, Walt.
Right.
Well, which means my cursor keeps going to the middle of my screen, even when I don't want it there.
I think tonight's episode is The Fussy Laptop.
I'm telling you, the cursor is possessed. Okay, we have to come up with a title. So,
I'm drawn to The Big Game. How about you? That's just me.
The Big Game.
That's what I'm drawn to.
You're drawn to the big game.
But what are you drawn to?
I want to propose Stranger Game.
I love it.
I'm putting a couple things together, in our inimitable fashion. Walt, are you okay with that?
Sure.
Yeah, no, I like the mashup. Are you okay? Are you able to manipulate your
Is there a hotkey to turn the camera on and off? Because then I'll be fine for the rest of the show.
Not only do we have the cursor in the middle, but hotkeys.
Let me Google it.
Well, I mean, can you?
And now there's Googling, ladies and gentlemen. We're Googling with the cursor in the middle and the hotkeys.
We're doing some live Googling.
You thought this was a family show, did you? Okay, Google that thing, Jen. Meanwhile, while Jen Googles and Walt cursors, I am going to tell you the story of the most Twilight Zone thing I know, which is a house up in Maine that was sure to be haunted. There was no question about it. And I was staying there alone. It was in Machias, Maine, big old 200-year-old house. This is true. Up in Machias on Elm Street in Machias. I was staying there alone because I was painting this house. It was summertime. And I was scraping the house, and I gave myself a little bit of that, what do you call it, that carpal tunnel, where I woke up one morning and my hands were practically worthless, which really scared me. Got a couple of wrist braces. I took care of myself, iced at the end of the day and so forth. They were much better. Maine's a funny place because it can get cold. It can get very cold, and even in the middle of the summer, and then 15 minutes later, it's hot. It's the weather's really like that. But I got up there, and I have a fear of heights, I forgot to tell you, and it's a pretty tall house. And I got up on that big tall ladder that I had borrowed from some friends to paint that house. And I'm painting along, and all of a sudden, everything got super, super quiet, and then super cloudy, and then super dark. And I says to myself, self, you better get down from this ladder. And just as I thought that, up on the hill above the house, a bolt of lightning hit a pine tree, and that pine tree sheared off and just went with a horrible explosive sound. I almost let go of the ladder. Remember the hands with the wrists, and I managed to very, very slowly creep down. It was an aluminum ladder, of course, it was metal. And I got to the bottom, and just as soon as I hit ground, the skies opened up into a huge, intense sheets of rainstorm, and I made it inside. Half an hour later, the sun was shining brightly. It was a beautiful blue sky, but I didn't go back up there. Mm-mm. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hey, Walt and Jen, how are we doing with the I've gone deaf. I've gone deaf.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm here, and I'm not exactly sure.
I said go ahead, and I'll join you guys.
Oh, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. He
Go
said,
ahead. We should start, and he will join in when he is able.
so the title of tonight's Nightlight Zone is Stranger Game.
Honey, are you feeling better? Because Hans is ready to take us out in the bush. Apparently, he says this is the best time to go to get a sighting.
I don't know, what do they call the local version of Montezuma's Revenge? Whatever it is.
Oh, sorry. I told you not to eat so much of that meat last night. I still don't know exactly what animal that.
Delores, are you making this my fault?
No, of course not. Of course not. The point that I was making is that we wanted to go on this adventure to experience new and exotic experiences, and I'm sorry you're feeling bad.
And we've experienced new and exotic experiences, including that exotic meat.
You should have seen your face. You took that big mouthful. I mean, I was just nibbling.
That was the vilest thing I ever ate in my entire life.
Hi, Hans. Oh, I think Hans is telling us it's time for us to.
Hans, is that you?
Yeah, we should, get ready, wash up and get ready, and maybe go hit the trail again, eh?
Hans, just to clarify, is today's the day we're actually, Delores and I, Hans, are we actually hunting today? Not watching you hunt, but actually Delores and I are going to.
But the hunt with the camera, hunt with the gun, but regarding the prey, you guys is very elusive, and it's a very different hunt than you might be used to.
What did he say, Delores?
He's hard of hearing, hear what I say so good.
No, I think
I speak out of you. This guy is hunting the people, but he's not the same as what you and I used to hunting.
Oh, so it's
honey.
not the
Honey.
same as we're used to hunting back in the States.
Yeah,
No, wait, Hans, just
mine.
Good.
no, excuse
Yes,
us just
stop.
1 second.
No, that's good, Hans. Yes. So that's why we're here. We want exotic experiences. That's why right, honey? So don't worry.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry,
Dolores,
Hans. Did I hear
Dolores,
you say?
there's always something with you. There's always something with you, isn't there?
I thought I heard him say. Oh, never mind. That's crazy. We couldn't be hunt. No, that's
Go
crazy.
ahead, Dolores. Or don't, but we've got to
I'm gonna
go.
leave you two alone. I'm gonna scout the straight ahead, and
Right.
maybe you get the wax out your ear there, buddy boy, so you can hear what I have to tell you.
I'm ready. I've got that. I got the big game gun you showed me yesterday.
You look so, let me take a picture of you because you look so cute with that thing. Oh, you look so good, honey.
That's great because I can superimpose that over anything, right? With Photoshop, we can make it look really, yeah.
Yes.
All right. I guess he went
I
out
have
to
a
the.
feeling that after today, we're gonna have a legit background.
So he went running off to the Land Rover. I guess we better hurry up and join him, honey. Come on, let's go.
I'm gonna, honey. Ugh.
A couple on an exotic vacation, hunting rare game. In a modern world where people who live in isolation, surrounded by millions, seek to tap back into the roots of kill or be killed, these pampered urbanites are going to enter a zone of twilight and nether. You may even call it something of a nightlight zoo.
Come on, Dolores. Whatever it is we're hunting is going to be gone. We got to get there. Can't you keep up, woman?
I'm just thinking. I just want to put on some bug spray because.
Hey, you two back in the back seat there.
Need some.
I worked a little bit on my enunciation. Sorry for the trouble today. We had a lot of fun at the camp. What's a little bit about tell me a little bit about the two of you, eh? I take you to where the prey lives.
Oh, well, there's really not much to tell, Dolores. Well, Dolores, tell him how we met, honey. Tell him about the tell him about the library and the alpaca.
Okay. This is the craziest thing.
Yeah.
You see,
Crazy, yeah.
for my birthday one year, I really wanted an alpaca.
We all want. Who does not want that?
Yeah, just
alpacas.
Just to have one. Just because they're so cute, and I just they're just. I like to look at them, and I figured someone else could take care of it and everything. So my dad hired this guy to come and bring an alpaca to the house. And who shows up? But Bill here.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't know a thing about alpacas. It turns out that he just wanted to ask me out on a date.
I had been admiring her from afar for quite some time.
Yeah.
I pretended to be an alpaca expert.
He was a hedge fund manager. He didn't know anything about alpaca.
You don't remember the guy who sold you the alpaca, right? He's not important to the story of your life.
I don't think I ever knew him. Did you know?
The guy wasn't important. No, that wasn't important. The guy,
many people in our lives.
Alpaca guy wasn't important. What makes you think the alpaca guy was important? No, this is a story about how we met.
I'm just making a small talk about that. There's so many people that are that important. That are important for a moment, but we don't know them.
Yeah, well, he wasn't important. Okay, it was a story about how I met her and she met me. Just drive.
I'm very upset.
How long till we get there?
Well, we'll be there very soon. But I mean, it's sort of part of me. I know you paid money for this expedition, but it's part of my ritual to get to know the people who I take so I can tailor the experience to be perfect for each.
Yeah, okay, fine. But you know something? We don't really usually do that much fraternizing with the help, if you know what I mean.
Oh
We
yeah,
All right.
will.
yeah, exactly. You have the guy who bring you your breakfast and dinner. You don't care. You barely know his name, right?
No, his name is
Right.
Roger. It is.
Oh,
I know.
Roger.
What's his
I know
name?
his name.
What's his name?
I think it's Roger.
Oh,
Really, honey?
No, actually, Roger is
No,
his
I thought it
last
was
name.
Randolph.
No,
Roger works. No,
Randolph.
Roger is the mailman. I know that because I had a conversation with him that time I had to sign for the thing. And I said, "Oh, yeah, Jolly Roger," because he was laughing so much. I remember that. I made
you're
fun of his
both
name a
wrong.
little.
Your mailman's name was Lawrence. It's
What?
common. It's easy. You're important. You don't need to know everybody.
How on earth would you know what our? I mean, we don't even know what our mailman's name is.
Yeah.
How would you know what our
Alpaca.
mailman's?
The alpaca salesman's name was Harold Craymore.
Oh heavens, that was years ago. Who
Yeah.
even cares
Mr.
anymore?
Craymore.
Hold
he
on.
died of cancer. Did you know that?
What did you say?
Oh, it's not making the small talk.
What did you
Right,
say?
small talk.
He did what?
I don't know. He's not important. Why are you fretting? You said yourself. He's not important to you.
You said something the alpaca salesman did.
He died. Everybody live. Everybody die.
This is not a fun vacation, you guys.
Did you know that the parents of the alpaca that actually was sold, they actually had origins from way down in Central America.
I know where alpacas come from. Yeah, are we almost there? I mean, there must
Oh,
be
yeah,
something.
we're
Why don't you pull off here? There must be something I can kill here. I just want to kill something. That's
Oh,
what
you
we
know,
paid for.
Settle down. You
Yeah.
sound so crazy and macho.
this is what your therapist has been telling you all along.
She has.
What?
You know, doctor. I mean, for you, it would be you call her Doctor Head Shrinker.
Well, I know her name is Dr. Jaminafad.
Oh, you always mispronounce it, but that's you're close enough. She's telling you gotta be a little more calm. You know.
Buddy, we signed on for this. We met you 2 days ago when you picked us up at the airport.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember.
Oh, watch those bumps.
Oh, you know, it's a bumpy road. Life is a bumpy road.
Gonna fall right out the open side here.
Oh, you don't want to fall out, then you're going to wind up back, in the hospital like that time when you were 7 and you skated and, the neighbor kid, the dog got in front, you fell, you hurt your leg, and then your parents sued their family. And you were fine with it, and the kid cried, and you weren't allowed to play with him anymore. His name was Todd.
I know his name was Todd. I had a big crush on him, and we
Oh.
weren't allowed to play together anymore
Well.
after that. Excuse me, can we?
You know,
Is there a window we can roll up
Sure.
here?
Dolores, you've told me that story before, but you never told me about having a crush on Todd.
Hold, hang on a second. I'm gonna
Dolores?
crank up. I need to crank
Dolores.
up the window. Hang on.
Damn it, woman, I'm talking to you.
Okay, I'm cranking, Bill. I'm cranking.
You're both very upset. I'm making a point.
Okay, he can still hear us. This window does nothing. I'm gonna crank it back.
What the
up.
hell do you think? There's no roof. I mean, what the hell good is a window going to do?
Well,
with no
stop.
roof?
I thought maybe you might want to understand the rules of the game, but you don't need to know. You don't need to know.
What rules? What
Oh,
game?
no,
It's a
Hans
vacation.
Carter.
Oh, wait. You're talking about the hunting now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he made a couple lucky guesses about things. If there are rules, I want to know the rules.
Oh, you're right. We should know the rules because we want to be responsible hunters, right, honey?
Well,
Right.
I'm just setting the stage. I told you, this is very special. I make every hunt specific to every group. It's just never two hunts the same.
Well, that's why we paid so much.
Wonderful.
But-
Wonderful. And so that's why that's why we paid top dollar here. So let me hear about what these rules are and what the deal is. I want to know, for example, I got the best gun based on your recommendation. This thing will kill us.
It's so shiny
It's
and
such a
big.
good
I
gun.
love it. Hang on. I want it. Hang on.
You're
What a
going to
big
kill.
gun.
Oh, my camera fell out. I must have fallen out on the
Oh, no.
Oh,
That guy who's Stanley, at the guy at the store, the photography place. Sold
We
it
don't.
to
We
you.
don't need to mention Stanley. It's okay. No.
Hold on here.
Stanley, and you hit it off pretty good.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
She likes it.
Dolores.
Bill.
It's too bad. There were some interesting pictures on the
The photography guy back home, back in Stanton, Ohio. That's Stanley? Is that the one you're talking about, buddy?
Yes.
Oh, he's good with names. Here I am thinking he doesn't remember people. He remembered.
Yes.
I have reasons to remember. Let me tell you something, Hans. I have reasons to remember Stanley.
Oh, I know that.
Guys, this was like 20 years ago. All right, Bill. I thought that we were well past this.
And then you went back and
Oh,
looked
we were well
around
past
for the
this.
trip. Yeah.
So we were some things you never get well past, Dolores.
You know, anyway, my point being again, there are lots of people. They come in and out of our lives, and they're only like, memorable for us.
Well, like the blind geek in the lobby at the office building who sells the coffee and everything, and he never knows what actual denomination he trusts everybody to give him the denomination that they say they're giving him.
He knows.
I'm amazed.
Knows. He can tell.
Excuse me, Hans. Bill, you give him the right amount of money.
No, he doesn't. I'm sorry, I ruined it. I'm sorry, Bill. I ruined the story.
Bill.
Most of the time, I give him exact change.
He knows,
Okay, first of all, most of the time, an exact change. The man is blind, Bill. The man is blind, and he sells us coffee every day.
What? He knows what?
He spits in the coffee. Not everyone, just the people who shortchange him.
Well, that's good.
It's a funny little joke, you have to admit. One time, he put a laxative in the coffee. You remember that time?
Last March.
You know that because you had the trouble.
I had a major presentation to do that day. I spent the whole day in the head.
Well,
That son of a bitch.
You're the one who stiffs him, a blind guy.
Okay, you know what? Okay, I tip him every Christmas. Most of the time I give him exact change. And once in a while, for fun, I'll throw him a 1 and tell him it's a 5. It's just fun. It's a harmless prank. It's a harmless prank.
The car at the park. Listen. Okay, now look outside. And you see beyond the trees? You see that little section of stone ruin gives way to modern architecture?
Yeah.
You see the blind guy selling the coffee in the lobby there?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How?
And then buying from him, there's the guy who's he works at the camera store. He's there buying coffee. This is you don't know them very well. They're like strangers to you, right? You don't care.
Stanley.
Yeah. All right, line your shot up.
But
I can't shoot a person.
Is this some kind of performance art?
I can't shoot.
They are known to you, and yet they are strangers to you.
Bill.
They come out of your life and into your life. Put them out of your life.
Wouldn't really matter, would it?
Bill, put that gun down. Bill.
You feel so much
better. Put it down.
What's the matter with you? This is our opportunity to do something that nobody back home has done.
There is a reason nobody back home has done it, because it's wrong.
He says it's okay.
It is. You're powerful. You know you're powerful.
He's crazy, Bill. Have you not noticed our driver is insane?
No, I'm the most sane person. You know, I'm telling you what you already know. You're above all of that complications. You're wealthy, and you know who deserves what.
Stanley, blind guy, run!
Oh, they bolted.
Of course they bolted.
They bolted into the trees.
What is the matter with you, woman?
Stanley,
what is the matter with you?
I did not come on this vacation to shoot people we marginally know.
Well, look, the photographer guy, he's pretty spry, but the blind guy still is a blind guy. You can probably track him. He doesn't know the terrain.
Yeah. You know what? Of course I could. He's going to stumble. He's going to fall. There's no sport in that, Hans.
All right. Well, I suppose I could take you to the next site.
Yeah, what's the next
Go
side?
back. Let's just go back.
Something
Billy.
a little more challenging, right? Something a little bit more
Oh,
difficult. Something I can really kind of feel like a man.
oh, you want the challenge?
Why don't we just go back and have a nice fancy dinner? Hans, you could make us some more of that.
Dolores, be quiet. Hans and I are under
Lola doesn't understand. She's like a stranger to you now, isn't she?
women. They're like that. You can't live without them. You
Oh.
can't kill
How
them.
long have you been married to her?
Let me tell you something, buddy.
Yeah, I'm listening.
A long time, if you get my drift.
So long that it's like you don't even know who she is.
Bill, do you know the
Sometimes.
actual number of years that we have been married?
Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I look at that person there and I say, who the hell is that in my bed?
Well,
And not in a good way, if you know what I mean. Not like in the, not like at the convention,
I can help you.
oh, no.
I'm right here.
Well, you should find this Dolores. This
Oh my God, Dolores, what?
This concerns you. I'm putting the car into park and see up ahead? You see past the trees, the bedroom set?
I'm gonna go get a better look.
There's a
Be
couple
right back.
sleeping under the covers there.
I see him.
There's a man who looks like he's very tense about work.
Yeah, poor
And
son of a
there's a
bitch.
woman. She's reading a romance novel in the bed
Yeah, and eating cookies
and eating cookies, Pretty familiar, huh?
with the curlers in her hair. Yeah,
Reading out loud while he's trying to sleep. Don't you hate that?
I hate that. I hate that.
You hate that.
You're sure this is all right?
Bill, you're snoring again.
Oh, she's complaining
Oh,
about
that does it. That does it. I'm snoring, am I?
Look at that. And her husband didn't even wake up.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Hans, get over there. Get this car over there. Oh my God. What have I done? Hans.
It's done. You don't want to linger. We could go other places.
No, she needs help. She needs medical assistance. I can't even call 911. There's nothing out here. What are you doing? Hans.
I'm going to have my people come. You want the trophy, right? I'll take care of it.
Hans. Oh my God. What have I done?
She was a stranger. You knew her, but she was a stranger.
Dolores.
Like the cameraman you knew, but
Dolores.
Yeah. You can't. She can't hear you.
You did this.
I did nothing but take you on the hunt you paid for.
You did this, you son of a bitch.
Before you pull the trigger, I do have something to tell you. And it's all right. I have made peace with this world. But, there are a lot of people in the world whose lives you drift in and out of all the time. And they sort of know you, but they sort of don't know you. And I've sold a lot of guns.
Driver, pull over. You see those two fellas talking in the car there? Can we get a little closer? Quiet now. I think I got a bead on one of them.
I don't care about the guns you've sold.
I hope you enjoyed your trip.
Yes, dude.
And so the trip comes to an end. Sure, we take for granted that there are people who come in and out of our life all the time, and sometimes we treat other people like they're just annoyances, characters in a video game. But what you have to remember is we're all non-player characters in somebody else's game, especially in the Nightlight Zone.
Oh, that was some sick crap going down there. Jen, you probably need to have me turn your video back on.
Oh, that was you. Thank you.
Yes, I turned you off. Let's see here. I think I can. Can I turn you back on?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
My boyfriend's right here, you know.
Right.
How does this plug it? Oh, okay, got it.
I know how to do
So
this.
you and I have drifted a bit apart during this episode. We have perhaps become strangers.
Okay.
There she is.
Woo.
Wow.
When I turn the camera, the microphone.
Yeah, I know. I hope
Actually, it was. You know what? I mean, I don't know what the folks at home are thinking, but I kind of thought it was a very signpost up ahead special effect. It's like, yeah, bat that microphone around.
Well, yes, then it was magic. It was magic, Michael.
So, yeah. Well, there's that.
The stranger game.
Be good to each other
Danger game.
and solve problems with guns. No, don't. That's the opposite of everything we believe.
Oh, this is nothing that we believe in, folks.
No.
Do not believe any subliminal messages we might be.
Well, you know, he was a hedge fund manager. I'm just saying.
Right.
Kidding, not kidding. Don't even shoot hedge fund managers.
We're all about peace and love.
GameStop have become strangers to me.
Who needs guns when you've got stock?
So, guys, you know, we've been doing these for what? It's a while now. When did we do it? Is it almost 3 years? I think. Is that possible?
Yeah, something like at
I
least.
think it is. Yeah.
2.5 or more. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and folks watching probably don't know, but one of our rituals is to get the bad one out of the way before we're doing anything in front of the audience. Why do you suppose we have to do that? What is it about this format that makes us have to like get a ritual like that?
I gotta be honest. I don't just think it's this format. I think it's a lot of it's in specifics I'm finding. It's narrative, collaborative narrative improv that has a small group. Because we've been in other groups, you know, little things we've been doing on the side, you know, practicing. Yeah. We have to do the same thing. We have to do like, wow, we have to do an episode and not like, now we have the do-over. We're going to do a new one. We have our practice one.
So.
Yeah, but I think, personally, I think that this may be true of all narrative, but Nightlight Zone, sorry, the state of Rod Serling.
Oops.
Nightlight Zone is, especially since the original episodes were, 30 minutes with time for commercials, I think it has to be a simple story, like
yes,
a simple story about one central thing. And when we've been out in the world and doing our real lives all week, we tend to come into warm up or rehearsal just kind of like full of a million ideas or whatever. And then we need to kind of get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Or kind of throw the kitchen sink out there and then just remember to kind of have faith in a simple story.
I think you nailed it.
What's that, Walt?
I think she nailed it.
Yeah, I think so. So it's a matter of just getting centered enough to be simple, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And receptive to be trusting other people and working with other people instead of just pushing.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally drove a lot of that one.
I loved it, actually. I loved that because I didn't know where we were going, literally or figuratively.
Same,
I didn't know where we were going in the car, and I didn't know, but I did know, though, there's a structural thing here. We knew it was Stranger Game, and we knew you were the guide, and clearly the guide is going to take us someplace odd, right? And so then I don't know if anybody's even still watching, but I'm interested. So my thought process was somebody needs to be not likable, given that it's game, we've established it's hunting and all that. So I like that. I like playing the not likable guys. So I kind of got increasingly horrible as we went on. And I thought Delores got like to be more and more of a, not victim in the passive sense, but like truly a victim of this awful guy.
Yeah, she she wasn't on board with his stuff, with his
No.
baggage.
No.
Well, I think she was one of these people who will be horrible to a point.
Only to a point.
To a point. She still had a line that she wouldn't cross.
She'll leave the 1-star scathing Yelp review, but
She'll put $10 in the
Oh yes, the 1-star scathing Yelp review. Is Yelp is still a thing, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, of course it is. We love Yelp. We love Yelp. Love it.
Right.
Whoa!
Don't give us any bad Yelp reviews. We love you. There are you Yelpers. Yeah, talking to you. You bet. So hey, it's a little early based on what we usually do. As you can see, I have let the world see behind the veil. I am sitting in front of a green screen in my office at home with my plant.
Pay no attention to that man in front of the green screen.
I turned off my green screen as well.
So the question is, yeah, that's Walt's bedroom right there. And Jen's in her house.
Up in the window.
Yeah.
Back. You can't.
I guess the question is, do we want to try to do a little, maybe, how about just like this? We do let's go back to our titles and let's do a miniature. A mini descriptive, described Nightlight zone. What do you say?
Cool, sure.
We'll just because this is something also, if anybody is still watching this, that we do, we sort of talk through an episode. Like without the dialogue, just to give ourselves the narrative thing. So we try to give ourselves permission to get really lost and see if we can trust each other to get us back again. So strange seasonings, one for the road, Bean Boy Blues, big game. We had the big game. Have a beer on me. Going, gone. What strikes you, Walt? Because you didn't have much to do with the last one.
Going, gone can mean a lot of things, and it can all be pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going, gone. It opens with these two guys. They're in a little office with a pile of cheap trinkets that have obviously come in on a pallet from some sweatshop in Asia. And they are madly working along to package them in swanky looking little boxes.
One of the guys is taking every few items out at random and comparing them to the brand item that they're a knockoff of. Like he's holding up like these cheap action figures that are rip-offs of popular superheroes. He's holding up purses that are knockoffs of like Gucci purses, and making sure that they look close enough to fool the average person.
And every time that guy, whose name is George, does that, his partner, whose name is Henry, says quality control, which obviously irritates George.
Their assistant comes in from the other room, teetering on 5-inch heels with 2 cups of coffee in styrofoam cups. And you just know from the look of them that they're black, stale, and kind of cold. And she nearly trips, nearly spills the coffee all over everything. And she apologized for being such a klutz, and she teeters back out on her 5-inch heels to get some paper towels to mop up the mess.
And the two of them have a conversation that they apparently have all the time about why haven't they fired her years ago.
And George says of all the crummy knockoffs they've ever had, the poor imitation that they've hired of an assistant is the worst.
The camera cuts to that very poor imitation of an assistant whose name is Alice, and she is in the doorway about to enter the office, and we see her face as that hits. And she's devastated. But she pulls herself together and puts on a bright smile.
She pulls herself together, puts on a big smile, and with her voice trembling, she carefully walks into the office, puts the coffee down, First for Lou, then for Larry. And she
Otherwise known as George and Henry. It's George, Lou, and Henry Larry.
You see, she's always getting their names mixed up.
She does that
calls them-
constantly.
She calls them Lou and Larry, even though their names are George and Henry.
Yep, George, Lou, and Henry Larry.
With her upper lip trembling and her voice cracking, she says, "Do you need me for anything else tonight?"
And they both sort of like, yeah.
So she spins on her feet to go walk out the door, but she decides she's going to give them a piece of her mind. And she turns around with a grand sweeping gesture and knocks over the entire table with all of the trinkets and all of the legitimate items and all of the counterfeit items, and everything goes flying all over the room into a complete jumble.
As if in unison, Larry and Lou say, "You're fired."
She teeters crying out of the room.
Rod Serling-ish type person, who isn't, of course, Rod Serling, nor is this a takeoff of the Twilight Zone at all, is in the corner of the room and steps forward and says, "Alice Mary Jenkins, a very nice woman on very high heels, who has just unceremoniously been dropped from her 5-year employ in the import of note company of Ballston Spa, New York. Alice Mary Jensen, who at this moment is teetering down the stairs into the Nightlight zone." And we track following Alice walking down the street on those heels, and she passes an outdoor bin in front of a discount store with flip-flops, and without a moment's hesitation throws the high heels in the gutter and puts on a pair of flip-flops, throws some money at the startled person half asleep by the bin, and moves on, happier and bouncier.
But the person says, "Hey lady, what kind of coin is this? I never seen a coin like this before."
And she says, "Yeah, it's not really worth very much, but it's a great curio. It's a conversation piece. It's from Asia."
She keeps walking.
We see her entering her rooming house.
It's kind of sad, shabby place.
As she walks in, she passes a man reading the paper, looks up from his paper and looks at her and says, "Whoa, you look just like her." "Well, almost, not quite, but you could pass for her in the dark." And then then he takes his paper and just throws it in the trash and walks away.
And she, corner of her eye, she catches a photograph on the front cover of the newspaper. She pulls it out of the bin and notices that the glittering actress on the front cover of this newspaper looks an awful lot like herself.
Estelle Estrella to play the Ballston Regent Theater, says the headline.
She tears the picture out of the newspaper and brings it up to her sad little tiny shabby room.
She uses a piece of, what do you call those things? A pin, to pin it up next to her mirror. And she stands for just a moment admiring it. And then she shrugs and sort of laughs and says, "Well, I could never be a star like that."
And then the picture in the newspaper animates and says, "Oh, you've got that right, honey. You've got no confidence, no guts. You don't even have posture."
Double, triple take, rubbing of the eyes. And Mary says,
"First of all, my name's Alice. And second, I'll have you know I have excellent posture. It's just those heels. They've been ruining my back. And I just ditched them on the corner."
The camera whirs, and we are backstage at the Boston Regent Theater, where the superstar is in mid-tantrum about her gummy bears and her flowers. She's worked up to such an extent that she pops one of the wrong kind of gummy bears in her mouth and starts to choke.
Her weaselly little manager, Lawrence, runs up and gives her a very awkward, very creepy and gropey Heimlich maneuver. Are you all right, dear? He says.
I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine.
Her voice.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Go, man. Go.
He's very, very weaselly and smarmy, and he's just going on and on about, was something wrong? Who should I fire? Who should I get rid of? Who should I kill?
I don't care. Fire everybody, but get me some tea.
You're all fired! He runs out of the room yelling, you're all fired!
I've got to go on in 5 minutes. How can I go on sounding like this?
The two of them freeze because they hear someone singing her hit song, Alabama, Bama, Bama, Baby, walking by the open stage door of the theater, and they look out, and who is it, of course, but a suddenly looking 10 years younger, devil-may-care, actually happy Alice Mary walking along the sidewalk. The agent runs out and says,
You, get in here. We need you.
What do you mean you need me? Need me for what?
he grabs her by the elbow and pulls her into the theater. There, she finds herself face to face with herself. They circle each other, playing a mirror game for what seems like a minute, but is actually only about 10 seconds.
Golly, that man with the newspaper was right. You're Estelle Estrada something like that, aren't you?
Get the name right, sweetie, says the star.
You sound different.
And she says, I know who I am, darling, but who in the hell are you?
Oh, I'm nobody, but I do love all of your songs. I mean,
The Weasley manager says it doesn't matter who she is. If she knows your song and she's got a voice, then nobody has to know. Look, kid.
Alabama, Bama, Bama, baby. I love you, and no, I don't mean maybe.
Oh, Lawrence, this is a cheap imitation. This is no better than those bogus boots you bought me that were not designer. They'll never buy it.
Well,
At this
how
point-
do you know? I may not be a superstar, but I'm not a cheap imitation of anything. My name is Mary Alice Jenkins, or Alice Mary Jenkins, depending on who you ask.
And I am an original. And meanwhile, you are just a washed up old star without a voice, she says.
Are you going to let her speak to me this way, Lawrence?
Lawrence, who's got the toothpick that always means rebellion, is saying, yeah, as a matter of fact, I think I am. Somebody should have talked to you this way a long time ago, Estella.
Are you upset just because I shit on you and everyone around me?
Might say that.
After
So-
care myself, Lawrence, I know how you feel when everybody treats you like that. Believe me.
So, kid, what'd you say your name was?
I believe it's Alice Mary Jenkins.
Alice Mary Jenkins. It's got a nice, honest ring to it.
Thank you.
So the offer we
Only
were
my name sounded honest before.
going to make you an offer that you pretend to be the big star here, the croaking ego. But I got a better idea.
Ego.
I got a better idea. We have time. Sure we do. We're going to change the marquee.
What?
We're going to take her name down and put your name up. And you're going on.
I am, and she's the very upset star screams, I am going to the union and I am going to bring you all down. And she rushes out the back room, but as she goes out the back room, two men in kind of like workman's uniforms grab her and throw her into the back of a truck. And it drives off.
And we hear the men say, you're going to sort out all those counterfeit items you messed up in the office, lady.
And on the back of the truck, it says FBI. Alice Mary Jenkins.
Go ahead.
Alice Mary Jenkins turns and looks into the camera and says, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
And she says, but what about Estella Estrada? What's going to happen to her?
And we cut to a courtroom where the two creepy
Chapter
counterfeit.
4.
What's that?
What? I didn't hear that.
Go ahead. I said chapter 4. I was being sarcastic. Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry. That was very rude of me.
But we cut to a courtroom where the two former bosses are pointing at the starlet who looks haggard and wrecked now, saying, that's her! She was the brains of the whole operation! And she's in cuffs crying.
And the judge says, Mary Alice Jenkins, you're going, gone.
A Sterling S. character pops out from under the witness stand and says, multiple Mary Alice Jenkins can't be a coincidence. It can only be the kind of thing that happens backstage in the Nightlight zone. There it is.
A quarter under this bench.
Yeah. So that's what we do when we're warming up and we're talking through an episode. We do it like that, just so you might want to know.
It's a good way to practice remembering names.
Like Lou and Henry and Larry and George.
And Alabama, Bama, 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 Bama,
Alabama, Bama, Bama.
Baby.
Yeah. It's this is actually a big thing for an improviser, and we got to go in just a minute, but it really is. When you name somebody, you got to repeat so that you and the person you named remembers those names. But then what do you do when somebody gets it wrong? And this is a topic of some debate. I did a bad thing. I sort of made fun of you, Jen, by, calling you out that way. That was wrong. That was not a good thing to do.
I actually do. I know some people think that if somebody gets the name wrong, you just keep going as though that's it. But I feel like the audience has already heard the other name. And I know there's two different camps. I'm in the camp where, no, you gotta name it in the show. Like, if you were named something else and somebody calls you your name, you gotta work with it in some way.
Sharon is absolutely right, Robert.
Thank you, Hank. It is, I think, I shouldn't have called you out. I did then say Henry, Larry, and George Lou or something along those lines, whatever it was. That would have been a way to make us both right and everything would, yeah.
Right.
But we all know that I can be a bit of a jerk, so.
We used it though as a show of the character's incompetence. Like, she's just always getting everybody's name.
Yeah, no, that was great.
5 years and she doesn't know their names. I think that was character color.
So did you guys think of one of the Carol Burnett Twilight Zones when she stumbled in with the coffee?
No.
I did. Boy, immediately.
I don't know when she stumbles in with coffee.
Well, no, I don't know that Carol Burnett ever did. But I was just thinking, she did a few Twilight Zones. Okay.
I see. You mean she would be in that role.
Yeah, like when she worked in the movie theater.
Yeah, she worked in the movie theater, and she was also somebody who I think got fired.
Yeah.
I forget what happened, but
well, she just destroyed a whole bunch of stuff being incompetent.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, this has been fun, and it is just about that time. By the way, folks, at home. If you're thinking, well, that ain't so big a deal, I could do that. You are absolutely right. You can improvise, and we want to prove it to you. We offer classes on a regular basis. We do one night improv 101s, don't we, guys? Yes, we do. And we do 4-week, that's 4 nights over the course of 4 weeks, essentials classes, where basically we teach you everything that's essential to being an improviser in just 8 hours time. And then because you're not a great improviser after only 8 hours practice, we have fundamentals classes. We've got some master classes that are happening. Lots going on. And you can find out about it at mopco.org. While you're there, you can pop up to the little button that says buy a gift card. And guess what you can do there?
It's not here, but if it were here, you could imagine it right here.
That's right. That's right. It would be right there. And it would say,
He's never around when you need him.
Peter DeLocke has messed up his back. We're our thoughts and our prayers are with you and your back, Peter. Yes, they are.
Magic green cards.
And his magic
Card screen.
It's all about the
Green
base.
card screen.
All about the base.
So what was that link again? It was what?
I think it was www.mopco.org. O-R-G.
O-R-G, and that's what it was. Well, for the Mop and Bucket Company, I have the pleasure tonight of playing Michael Burns, and I have been joined by my compatriots and pals, the lovely and talented Walter Baticki, and the equally lovely and talented Jennifer Lavenhar, and we're here weekends, free shows, tell your friends. We'll be here tomorrow night with a different format altogether and a whole bunch of our pals. We hope you will join us. Till then, we're going to say bye-bye.
Tell your friends.